Good afternoon, dear students. Today, the topic of our lecture is Basic Economy of Study Patterns. The subject name is Engineering, Economics and Industrial Management. In this very topic, we'll be discussing about the basic economic patterns that we are using for making any of the economic decisions for any of the industry or the revolutionary part that we come into existence across our status. Now, what is the basic economy study patterns? Basic economy study patterns, basically they introduce the various parameters over which our study patterns are basically dependent. Now, on which factors the study patterns or the basic economy patterns, they are depending, that we need to know about while making any of the decisions related to our investment. Now, we should firstly, when we talk about the basic introduction to this unit, when we talk about the basic introduction to this unit, we'll come across that what we need to know about this in preference. First of all, what we need to know that what is this all about. So let's start with our introduction part first. Introduction part deals with these are the five major options or five major things which we should take into mind, which actually comprise the basic economic study patterns. These 5 points actually comprise a basic economic study pattern. And if we follow these 5 points while managing or while deciding any of the decision related to our investment, we'll never get out of it. We'll never get the bad, choices will never be made. So let's start with the first point. The first point is determination of objectives. First of all, we should be very much clear about our objectives, what our objectives are, and why we need to solve or why we need to have these kind of objectives. Why I need to invest for this purpose. Okay, so this is related to objectives. Then we have the identification of strategic factors. What we should know that what are the factors which make me, which compel me for the identification, or which compel me for these factors, or which compel me to make my investment in this very deal. Okay, that is the second point, identification of strategic factors. The third point is determination of means and modes. Now, what are the means and modes which are required? Okay, which are required for making the decision related to investment or any of the planning that I'm going to do. And decision related to these, this is very important, because that decision, should I make this investment or should I start with this plan or not, that is quite important, because that decision only will decide that how much is my investment or how much is my plan appropriate, how much is my plan adequate with respect to our needs. So that is what is being required. Then is the determination or the evaluation of engineering proposals. What are the various engineering proposals and how to evaluate those engineering proposals? How we can evaluate it. That evaluation is also very important. And the proposals which are going to be there, they are equally very much important in this case of your study. Then assistance in decision making. What is the major assistance in decision making? How I can actually decide that this is my decision is right or not. A right assistance, a right guidance is very much important while making any of the decision related to our plan, whether it's investment or whether it's anything else. So that is very much important. So these are the 5 factors which are very much important while standing or while making our objectives very much clear. So, first objective or the first point is determination of objectives. Now, before starting with this topic of determination of objectives, I should know, I should actually know that what is determination, what objective I have. Okay, as if I say that this is my objective and I need to work on this objective, I need to work on this very area, I need to work on this very specialized area of my work, and what is the outcome of that specialization that I need to. So first of all, while the determining objective, I should know that what people actually want. To know what people actually want, and what is their need. Okay, what people actually want and why they want it. Okay, and suppose I am implanting a cellular tower. Let us take example of wireless communication over here. Suppose I'm planning to implant a cellular tower. Okay, a tower which is used for mobile phones and all for getting and fetching the signals. So for implanting of that cellular tower, what should I know? What is my consideration that should I know about this tower? First of all, I should make a survey. My objective is to install a cellular tower of, let us take a Vodafone. I'm a operator of Vodafone and I want to upgrade or I want to implant a cellular tower of Vodafone into a site. Okay. Now, before implanting my tower over that site, what should I know? I should firstly make a benchmark of that area, because normally the range of a cellular tower is 2 to 3 kilometers. Okay, so this range for 2 to 3 kilometers, I should firstly make a survey that for 2 to 3 kilometers, what is the actual people who are living over here and which operator are they using? They are using the mobile connection or they are using the mobile phone, or which operator? I should know this thing in the very first start. Should know this thing in the very first start, first of all. And then I should know how to satisfy my customers. If I'll implant this tower, I should know that how can I actually satisfy my customers. First of all, I should know that what people want. The people want a good speech quality. If I'm planting a Vodafone tower, 4G phone network, and what people want is they want a good speech quality, first of all. Second thing is they want a high speed data, because nowadays everything is on mobile phones. They People are accessing the YouTube, people are accessing the online education tools like Zoom, Google Classrooms, or WebEx, whatever the softwares we are using. They all are using they need a very high speed data. And especially students or the children who are attending the classes online at their home, they require high data speed, because the connection should not interrupt in between. So for that purpose, first of all, we should know, we should actually know that what actually people want. They want a high speed data, they want a good speech quality, and they want, yes, of course, they want the data rates, or they want that those kind of plans, purchase plans, which are comparatively cheaper as compared to other operators. Suppose I have a competitor of Geo and Idea and BSNL at my side. Now, the BSNL and the Geo are providing the same plans which I am giving them. But if I'll offer them at 50 rupees cheaper, if others are providing a plan of 600 for 84 days with 1.5 GB daily data speed, and I am giving them the same data speed, the same kind of everything, but at the rate of 550, they are providing 600 for 84 days. I am giving the same plan at 550 rupees for 84 days. Then people will obviously, firstly, they will try, because they have made a huge kind of, satisfying era towards the other operators which they're already using, because if they're quite satisfied that operator, they won't change it, because they think, no, it is better. I'm satisfied, the quality is good, the data rate is good, and I'm quite satisfied with it. But if there is some flickering point in their mind that no, it is not that good, I should try with this one also. So then they will try it. And for that trial, if your network fails, then they won't go. So first of all, I should have a complete idea into my mind that what actually people want as an operator, what people actually want from me. What are satisfying conditions that I should know, so that I can satisfy my customers. So satisfaction of customers is equally important. First of all, knowing their needs, knowing their basic uh, amenities that they require from me as an operator. First of all, this thing. Second thing is satisfaction of the customers is quite important. Because if the customers are not satisfied and I'm planted a tower, I have 2 to 300 subscribers under me, and they are not satisfied with whatever network I'm giving to them. They're not satisfied with it. Then what will happen? Then of course they will try to change the operator. They will definitely try to change the operator, and that changing is going to hamper others because we want a good reputation at all. Because a good reputation can only make a system. Because as we all know that when Geo came into market as a 4G network, Geo was the first operator in the year 2016, and it established a huge network. Each and everyone was using the 4G phone at that moment of time. Even the rickshawalas were using those phones because the network was free. They were accessing the high-speed data at the free network. They were not paying anything for 8 to 9 months. And then also the rates were quite cheaper. Then slowly and slowly when the market was completely established for Reliance, then they put their tariff plans to the equivalent to that. But first of all, they created a huge market, and that market has been created till now. People are still preferring Jio because Jio has laid a huge background over a network, and they're providing good high-speed data, like good tariff plans also. People are preferring the Jio networks. So determination of objectives, we should always uh, know actual needs of our customers, and then after knowing the actual need of customers, I should satisfy my customers. That is very important. Satisfaction of customers is equally important. We can take one more example in this case to elaborate this point. We can take an example of any of the factory who is manufacturing the clothes. Okay, the clothes has been manufactured. Now this cloth industry or garment industry is such kind of industry where the choice of people matters a lot. Because whenever we establish a garment industry in Punjab, the people they have a different taste of clothing. And if the same industry is being established in South India, this is North India, the South India people like Kerala or this Karnataka side people, Andhra Pradesh. So these people, they have a different taste of clothing. So they people and the North Indians, they have a different choices of clothing factor, and that is not being satisfied in any of the cases. So that is very important that how we can actually and that how we can actually make our system more adequate, how we can make our system more appropriate with respect to this application, and how this we can actually make a system more satisfying for our customers. So in that case, when we talk about North Indian people, the North Indians, they prefer to have a fashionable clothing. They prefer to have designer clothes. They prefer to have a good fabric. But South Indians, they don't have a choice for that designs. They like the simple clothing and they wear a very simple kind of clothes. But the North Indians, they have a trendy clothes. So in that case, they have to read the mind of people first before establishing any garment. And similarly, you can see it also whenever you go for a shopping in North India malls, they have a different kind of collection. And if the same collection, if the same store is visited in South India, they have a different kind of a selection. Because the stores also, they prefer to have those kind of things, those kind of garments to be purchased, which the customers actually want. They have a taste, and the different tastes are there for different kind of people. So we should always try to read the mind of people first, and then the customer satisfaction is very important. Okay, so that is another case which we should all know while making any of our decisions. Okay. The next point comes over here is this is the one of the major characteristic objective, because objective should be very much clear in our mind first, because if objectives are not clear, then we can't really create a system properly. The second thing is identification of strategic factors. Now, what are the various strategic factors which are there and which are actually needed to be put on an effort? Strategic factors mean to put efforts on those areas where success is possible. Now, I know that I can accomplish my task if I put my efforts in this very way, isn't it? Now, if I take a very simple example of students who are planning to have a GATE preparation. Okay, the GATE Academy is a very renowned resource academy for providing the guidance of GATE to the students. Now, GATE Academy have the strata of people. There are so many students who are coming every year to GATE Academy. They are joining GATE Academy to clear it out to crack the GATE exam. Now, the GATE Academy have suppose a one batch has 100 students. Now the tutor will definitely try to chalk out from 7 to 10 lectures that what is the kind of people or what kind of 100 students who are studying under me, what is the mental ability of each and every student who is studying under me. Because they will try to put on or they will try to glance or they try to read out the mind of those very students first who are actually in a mind to clear the gate. Okay, first of all, because it is always known that if 100 students have joined the GATE Academy, only 80% students are actually serious about GATE. Whereas 20% have joined it because the parents have told to join them, or they have joined because their friends have joining it, or they are just in dilemma, अगर हो गया तो हो गया, otherwise nahi, it's okay. So it is in such kind of mind. So the rest we can take that's a maximum of 80% students who are actually planning to crack the GATE exam. Now, for that people, the examiner will try to identify, yes, these are my actual targets because I can put a least amount of effort upon them and I can get a good results out of them because the main effort is of students. A teacher can only provide, a tutor can only provide a guidance. They can make the concepts clear, but the receiver or the student should also be in a state of mind that he should make those things clear in his mind also. It is not a one-sided education. If I'm making a lecture to you people, then you should also be in an open mind state that you should try to acquire the things which I'm teaching to you. If you have your eyes closed, you have ears closed, then whatever I'm speaking, it's not getting into you, then that is of no use. That is only a one-way teaching. But that is of no use. Teaching is only useful when the other receiver is also receiving in that in a proper 100% way. Okay, so in the same way, they will try to identify the GATE aspirants, the actual GATE aspirants who have their very much basic fundas are very much clear. First of all, they should have very much basic funda should be very much clear. First of all, the second thing is they should be very much hardworking. Whatever the student is telling them or whatever teacher is telling them, they are trying to implement those principles. They are trying to implement all those formulas and applications into actual life, and those students will they have a 99% probability to will clear the exam. So they are main focus, the main effort of the tutor is on those 30 to 70% students who are actually in a mood to clear it at any cost. So a least effort we put on those areas and we can get the good results out of it. So identification of strategic factors mean to put the effort on those areas where success is possible. Okay, so that is very much clear now that success is only possible when we put our efforts in the right direction. Okay. If we want one more example for this, if I keep on cutting a tree at the back side, I'm not cutting, I'm not making my axe hole on the this bark of the tree, and I'm just putting on the ground. Then will my tree cut down? No, won't cut down. The tree will only be cut only and only when we are trying to what? When we are trying to put the axe hits on the bark of the tree, then only the tree will fall down. That means the effort in the right direction is very much important. So to put the effort into those areas where success is possible is very, very important in this way. And determination of means and modes. This is one of the other very important objective that is required when we talk about study patterns. So the first study pattern is determination of means and modes. Means and modes means the most wanted or desirable of several proposal is the one which can be achieved at minimum. I just want to have the, I just want to have the, my thing to be done. But I want that this should be done with the attainment of all my objectives. What the factors or what are the various steps I have to take in order to attain my objectives? What are means and modes which I have to undergo or which I have to make so that I can attain my objectives at any cost. That is very important. That becomes very important basically, and this is one thing that should be known to me at any cost. The determination of means and modes and attainment of objectives is very important. What are the means and modes that are required for achieving my objectives? That is, very important. So, because when we talk about the engineers are well trained and experienced to determine the means or modes of attainment of objectives. But generally, what happens is they don't accept restrain themselves to do the consideration of means alone. They find themselves or inferior, putting to those who have imagination, courage, and ability to achieve the goals or objectives. So we don't actually we should have a mind. We should have a mind that yes, this is my objective, and I have to fulfill it at any cost. This should be into my mind. If I have this feeling into my mind, then of course at any cost I'll fulfill it. So this is the main objective. This should be the main objective that I have to fulfill my objectives, and for attainment of my objectives, I should try to follow any of the means and modes of my objectives. And the third point over here is evaluation of engineering proposals. Okay, what is the evaluation process? How I can actually evaluate my engineering proposals? The best proposal is the one which can be achieved at the minimum cost. Okay. So evaluation of engineering proposal is the best proposal. What is the best proposal? The best proposal is always the one which can be achieved at the minimum cost. If if I'm an operator and I have invited certain tenders for installation of a BTS or installation of a tower. That you have taken the example, the first case also. So I'm getting the tenders for that. Various standards. Standards are basically these are the filled forms. They are the quotations which are telling that we will fulfill your needs at this much price. This is much price. So, and the satisfying proposal will be satisfying to me. So what is major or what is the main point over here is that I should be very much clear about my objectives, first of all. Then strategic plans have been made, okay, because I have made my strategic plans, I have determined my goal and I will put my effort on the right direction. Means and modes are also very much clear now. How can I attain my objectives? The third thing is now I have put my proposals into ground, the basic ground. And for fulfillment of my proposals, I should know that what is the best proposal that is available and how I can achieve my best proposal at any cost. How can I achieve my best proposal at any cost? That is also very much important. Best proposal is the one which can be achieved at the minimum cost. Now I have got suppose 10 proposals are there with me, but I will prefer the quotation or proposal which has a minimum cost and best quality. They will provide the best quality service and they are providing the minimum cost also out of all the 10 quotations which I'm getting. So for all those 10 quotations, I will get which I'm getting. I need to know the best quotation the best proposal with a minimum cost and best quality. So that is the basic evaluation tool which is required or which is utilized for the proposals of evaluation or for the proposal of things that we are going to do. Okay. So next point over here is when we talk about the engineering proposals. Engineering proposals, the thing that other point that comes into my mind is I should be very much clear that the minimum cost should not compromise with the quality of my service. Should not compromise with any of the quality of my service. I should always try to get the best quality. Isn't it? So that is another point that we should be very much clear. So evaluation of the engineering proposal, that is the most important thing over here. And the last point over here is assistance in decision making. What is the assistance that is required in decision making? Now, I have, first of all, I have fulfilled my objectives. I'm clear with my objectives. After clarity of my objectives, I have planned my strategic factors also. I am designing my strategic factors that these are the strategies which I'm going to follow out of it. Now, after following those strategic factors, what should I know? What should I know basically? I should be very much clear into my mind that this strategic factors are the factors which should be clear in my mind. Then third thing is the means and modes, evaluation of proposals. And the last point over here is assistance in decision making. Because the final decision of selection of proposal means and more strategic plans and clarity of objectives. After going through all of these things, the last point that comes into my mind, the last thing that should be into my mind for making any of my decisions compatible or make them possible for their attainment. The thing is the right course of action from several reports. What is the right course of action? If I'm getting 10 proposals or 10 reports, then which report that I have chosen, the report that I have chosen, is that report okay? Is I have the report that I have chosen for my work or uh, for my upgradation? Is that report okay with me? Is that report very much fine with me? And is that report okay for my future correspondence? That should be very much clear to my mind first of all. If that thing is not clear in my mind, then the proposal are there is 100% risk that proposals are going to be wrong. They can be wrong, and most of the time they are wrong also. So for making the decisions, it should be very much clear that whatever proposals which we are going through, the proposals which we have planned, the proposals which we are deciding, or the right course of action is very important. So this last point, assistance in decision making, this is very important because the final decision is a decision which will make your plan work or not. If this plan is gone wrong, if this decision has gone wrong, then the system is going to be degraded. Decision is going to be. So assistance decision making is appropriate or the correct decision can eliminate many operating limitations of the handicaps. If I have taken the appropriate or the right decision at the right time, the appropriate or the right decision at the right time can overcome many handicaps, can overcome many limitations which we're going to face out of that. So that is the another course of action which is very much limited. So a right decision at right time is very important for any of the future correspondence decisions. So this is the one most important thing to do. Okay, so right assistance, right time, the decision process, because it is a decision process which is to select the right course of action. And the right course of action means the logical termination and Evaluation of alternatives in clean and definite manner. Because if we have the clean and definite manner that this decision has been made and why this decision has been made. The one thing is that this decision has been made and this decision has been made on these very factors. These are the very factors which are actually required for making this kind of decision, isn't it? So this decision has been made on these factors, and these are the only factors which we require at all times. So a legitimate decision, a right decision, a logical decision is very much important for any of the future decisions which we are taking, because all the future decisions will be actually depending upon all the course of actions which we are actually taking out of that at that moment of time, because all your present decisions will affect your future. If I have taken the right decisions of any of the investment plans or any of the strategic plans which we are planning for our engineering services, if those plans have been made logically, and logical plans are always worth watching and they're always taken a good shape. They always take good shape at the end. That should be very much clear into your mind. Isn't it? First of all, that should be very much clear in your mind. That whatever logical decisions we take, they are always right. There is no probability of getting anything wrong in it. They are approximately right at all moments of time. So these decisions are whether it is their objectives, with whether they are the evaluation of engineering proposals, whether it's determination of means and modes, or identification of strategic factors and determination of objectives. These all comprise, they all work together, they all work together, and ultimately they make a decision, ultimately they sort out a decision which is very much appropriate for each and every individual who is actually working upon all those decisions. So decision making is a most important of the four of these things. The first and last point, I would say, the first and last point over here. The first point was determination of objectives, and the last point is assistance in decision. I have objectives very much clear into my mind first. I have determined the objectives, and those objectives are clear into my mind. Okay. After clearing of all those objectives into my mind, assistance in decision making is very much important. That this is the assistance and this is the decision which is going to be. But this assistance and this decision will ultimately lead our system to the higher heights. So this is the thing that is actually very, very important whenever we talk about any of the decision making stuff. So this was all about the basic economy study patterns and their applications. If you find any queries, you can ask me at any moment of time. Thank you so much for your patience.